Hello everyone. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for telling my parents to stop asking for grandkids from us after we said we're not ready for kids? My parents, who are 46 and 49, have 2 kids, me, I'm 18, and my older brother. He's got a wife and 2 little ones who are 2 and 8 months old. I love my nephews and would totally love for them to have a cousin their age, but I'm just not ready for kids yet. Right now, I'm working full-time at Amazon, taking college classes, and focusing on my relationship with my girlfriend, who's 17. We've been dating for almost 3 years now, since Valentine's Day. Me and my girlfriend share an apartment, but we haven't really kissed, just some pecks on the cheek and a soft kiss on the lips. I've never touched her in a romantic way, and she hasn't touched me either. We don't sleep in the same bed or even the same room. We both work, go to school, and sometimes cook or clean together. We still go on weekend dates and occasionally babysit my nephews while my brother and sister-in-law have some time to themselves. It's more like we're roommates, but we're dating, if that makes sense. We were at my parents' place for the Super Bowl, and my brother and his family showed up too. It was going great until my parents decided to have a chat with me and my girlfriend. My mom started going on about pregnancy symptoms, prenatal care, vaginal births, C-sections, natural births, epidurals, breastfeeding, and all that stuff to fill us in. Then she straight up asked my girlfriend, "Are you pregnant?" My girlfriend just laughed and said, "No, I'm not." Then my mom went on to ask, "Are you guys active at all?" That made my girlfriend hesitate, and she said, "No, we're not." At that point, my girlfriend looked really uncomfortable, so I jumped in and told my mom, "Look, whatever Jasmine and I do isn't your business." She got really upset, saying she was just trying to help. I told her, if we wanted a baby, we'd already have one. Then my dad got mad at me for being disrespectful, and my brother jumped in, saying, "Disrespect is asking questions that aren't any of your business. If they're having sex, that's on them. He doesn't have to tell you anything. He's my stepbrother and he's never really liked my dad, so that's why he talks like that." I told my mom I was sorry for how it came out, but I don't appreciate her questioning me and my GF on our sexual relationship, even though there isn't one. She refused to apologize for the questions, and she said that for her to forgive me is to have a baby. Looks like she's gonna be mad at me for a bit since I'm not ready to have kids anytime soon. When my girlfriend and I got back to my place, she kept saying sorry like 10 times before heading to bed. She said she felt bad for not being up for having sex. I told her she didn't need to apologize at all and that she can take all the time she wants. Am I the bad person? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for telling my mom she's not a widow when my dad died? My father just recently passed away, and it has been incredibly hard on me, which has caused me to be a bit numb and also not care about people's feelings quite as much, which leads to me wondering if I am the a-hole. My parents had been on again / off again for 30 plus years of marriage, but my mom finally left him when I was 15. She manipulated me into leaving with her, and being a young, naive girl, I believed her. After living with my mom for about 8 months, I couldn't take it anymore and moved back in with my dad, and things were great. She was still in and out of our lives every couple of years, but finally stayed mostly out of our lives around me being 21. I'm 27 now. I'm still in contact with her and visit her once or twice a year. She lives several hours away with her boyfriend, but it's a strained relationship. She also had me deliver the news to my father that she wanted to divorce him. After a lengthy process, the divorce did not go through due to missing paperwork. Before we could get all the papers together, my father got diagnosed with throat cancer in the beginning of 2023. Treatments seemed to work and the doctors told us he didn't have cancer anymore. That wasn't the case. In April of 2024, he went into the hospital for pain management, where we find out his cancer was back and he either had approximately 3 months left to live or they could remove his entire tongue and voice box and put in a trachea tube. He decided to do the surgery. He was in the hospital for 4 months. During that time, my mom had visited 2 or 3 times because she was already coming to the area for other reasons and had gotten annoyed one of the times my dad asked her to come say goodbye to him before she went home. Finally, he was able to go home but went back to the VA hospital a few weeks later, where we found out he had an inoperable tumor wrapping around the artery that took blood flow to his brain. The doctor only gave him a few weeks to live. My mother had come down to say goodbye. During her visit, she had gotten annoyed with a man she was talking to, not her boyfriend, because he was upset about the anniversary of his wife and child's death. She said, "I understand he lost his wife and baby, but I can't handle this right now. I am literally watching my husband take his last breaths." Talking about my dad. This really struck a nerve, so I told her, "He is not your husband." She said the divorce never went through, so they are still married. I argued that it wasn't for a lack of trying, and that if the court had approved it, they would be divorced. 2 months after my father passed, she brought up that she misses her husband so much. Me, ex-husband. Her, the papers didn't go through. Me, that's a technicality. Her, I know. We were separated for a long time. It also made her very upset that she was not added to the survived by list at the memorial. She said she doesn't understand why her late husband's family treated her so poorly at the memorial, but that it's okay, they can be petty because in the end, they knew how much they meant to each other and that they still loved each other. After everything they had been through and watching my dad's drunken breakdowns of why didn't she want me, I didn't have the emotional capacity to listen to her call herself a widow, so I have snapped a few times. I understand that they have lived together for so long and raised kids together, and that while she wasn't in love with him anymore, she still had a place for him in her heart, so am I the a-hole for snapping when she calls him her husband or plays the widow card? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for refusing to hang out with my boyfriend's adult son due to his political views and racist way of thinking? My BF, 39, has a soon-to-be 19-year-old son who was predominantly raised by his mother's side of the family. He's a die-hard Trump supporter, constantly posting political rants on social media. And when I say die-hard, I mean he treats Trump like a damn god. Normally, I don't care about people's political beliefs, but his views go beyond politics. They're outright racist, particularly toward Mexicans and immigrants. Now, here's where it gets personal. I'm a 35-year-old biracial woman, my mom is white, and my dad is Mexican. My father crossed the border illegally at 17, hoping for a better life, and I will forever be grateful for that. If he hadn't taken that risk, I wouldn't even be here writing this. He's now been a legal resident for decades and has spent the last 4 years working toward his U.S. citizenship. My Mexican family, most of whom are now here legally, are some of the hardest working people I know. My grandfather worked 40 years at Mohawk Industries before retiring. My uncles? Busting their asses daily to provide for their families. And get this, my BF himself came here legally at 18. He currently has a work visa and is working toward his residency. But here's the kicker, his son, who is also biracial white and Mexican, doesn't seem to know this. Meanwhile, this kid is out here spewing anti-immigrant, anti-Mexican nonsense all over social media, completely unaware that his own father was once undocumented. I told my BF he needs to tell his son the truth because right now, he's living under false assumptions. Everyone deserves to know their history, and in my opinion, his son needs a serious wake-up call. But my BF won't do it. I think he's afraid that his son will cut him off. My response? If your kid is willing to cut you off over the truth, then good riddance. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life, no one does. I firmly believe that family isn't just about blood, it's about love, respect, and support. And if you're bringing hate into my life, I don't care who you are, you're getting cut off. Now, my BF keeps trying to get me to go on these double dates with his son and his son's GF. And I absolutely do not want to. Why would I voluntarily spend time with someone who openly disrespects my culture, my people, and even, unknowingly, his own father? The ignorance is off the charts, and I refuse to sit there and pretend everything's fine just to keep the peace. I told my BF I'm not putting myself in that situation. Period. And now he's making me feel like I'm the one being unreasonable. So, am I the bad person for refusing to spend time with my BF's son? Can't wrap my head around that story. What do you think? Who is in the wrong there? Let us know down in the comments section, and let's move on to our last case. Case 4. Am I the bad person for refusing to buy my wife a push present? For context, we've been together for 17 years, married for 9, and have 2 great kids, 7 and 4. We've faced a lot together, family losses, pregnancy loss, a big move to another country, and back, another move across the country, and a chronic diagnosis for one of our kids. Through it all, we've always operated as equals, making decisions together. One relevant detail, we don't do gifts. This was her idea early in our relationship, as we were broke college students and didn't see the point in buying things just for the sake of it. Even now, we buy what we need when we need it. The last time I bought her jewelry was last summer when she specifically asked for gold earrings, and we could afford them. So when she suddenly asked about a gift, I thought she was joking. Turns out, she wasn't. She explained that many of her friends recently had babies, and their husbands bought them diamond rings or gold jewelry. Even our mothers got gifts from our fathers. She doesn't want to feel left out. To me, this whole push-present thing feels like a commercialized, Western gimmick, something that was never ours. We built a home and a life together. I don't want to feel like I'm paying for the birth of our child, as if it's just hers. If she truly wanted something meaningful, she could have told me, not just pointed out that everyone else got one, so I should too. I love and appreciate her, but she never wanted this for our first 2 kids. It feels like she just wants to keep up with her friends, many of whom treat their husbands poorly and love flaunting that they run the show. So, am I the bad person for sticking to our usual approach, or should I just buy the jewelry to keep the peace? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.